What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So as we know, the Conjuring verse, the Conjuring universe is coming to an end. And I say coming to an end, and I'm referring to the core franchise as far as the Conjuring films go. When we're following Ed and Lorraine, the characters. Now we do know there's talks of spin-offs, and here we have news that James Wan hasn't given up on the hope of doing a Crooked Man solo movie. Now, if you may know, Crooked Man did show up in the Conjuring universe film, in one of the films, and I do think as long as they could keep it as original of a story as possible, while obviously still trying to tie it back to the Conjuring verse, I think this would be a very successful film. I think it's one of those things that fans are wanting as far as when it comes to original stories, original new ideas. Now, again, we know that the Conjuring the Last Rites is coming out later this year, and it is the final film. For it is, again, as far as the core films go, there are talks of various other spin-offs, and who knows, we could potentially see a Crooked Man. Now we know, again, as the headline states here, James Wan sounds like he's still into it. So let's jump into the article details here and see what we have. Now, you may recognize this picture here, as I imagine many of you should. It's from the Conjuring 2, where we first see the Crooked Man. So it's been almost 10 years since the release of James Wan's The Conjuring 2, which introduced the character, the Crooked Man, portrayed by Javier Bodet. A solo spin-off movie for the character was first announced back in 2017, but it, of course, ended up being the nun who became the film's spin-off star. So that's the status of that Crooked Man movie here in 2025. Chatting with Entertainment Weekly ahead of the release of The Conjuring Last Rites, which we just mentioned, and the trailer for that, the teaser trailer for this. Apparently it's not, even though it's a roughly almost 2.5 minutes long, it's not being deemed as a trailer, it's being deemed just as a teaser. So be on the lookout for that later today. We will be dropping our review reaction for that. You can just find it on our most recent uploads, or go check out our playlist for trailer reviews and reactions. So The Conjuring Last Rites later this year, franchise creator and producer James Wan revealed that while there are still no current plans for the Crooked Man to get his own movie, Wan himself is still keeping the hope alive. Wan tells the outlet, quote, "I still have a movie in my head that I would hopefully love to get off the ground one day, but we'll see. I get fans that reach out to me every now and then begging us to make a Crooked Man movie. Just as a fan, I would love to do it one day if I can convince the studio to do so." And I think the only way we're going to see this happen is depending upon how well this last film does, Last Rites. Now, this universe has been a moneymaker, has been popular for Warner Brothers. So, and we all know the track record when it comes to Warner Brothers. They have always managed to mess up a good thing, but at times they do manage to capitalize on something that is working. And this is one of those franchises, especially they don't have too many horror franchises going, and especially as going as long as the Conjuring verse has been going on for and still being successful. So I think it could be a situation where let's see how this last one plays out. Let's see how the fans react to it. Does it become somewhat of a moneymaker for us? And if it does, then hey, let's come back to the table and say, do we do a Crooked Man? I think that'd be the only way that were to happen. Producer Peter Safran adds, "We thought the Crooked Man was basically going to be the Annabelle for Conjuring 2, but when the audience saw the movie, they wanted to know more about the nun. That's what they gravitated towards. So you got to listen to your fans, you got to listen to the audience." So, side note, surprising quote coming from Peter Safran, especially since he's co-CEO of DC Studios with James Gunn. We're not going to get into my thoughts and opinions on that as far as listening to fans and listening to the audience. I think, he needs to take that quote, maybe share it with James, or maybe apply it to what they've been doing with DC Studios. But that's a completely different topic, completely different video, which we may cover off on during another episode series I'll be starting here in the near future for a daily talk through. So James Wan had this to say about the Crooked Man solo film way back in 2017. Quote, with the Crooked Man, I would love to push it more down somewhat of that dark fairy tale and more whimsical subgenre. I love the idea that within Conjuring universe, each of our little movies all have their own flavor, so that way they don't feel like they're the same films. I absolutely agree. That's something that this universe has been able to do and do it well while still tying everything together in one way, shape, or form, is again having it feel like it's not just a rinse and repeat. There are currently 8 films in the Conjuring universe: The Conjuring, Annabelle, The Conjuring 2, Annabelle Creation, The Nun, Annabelle Comes Home, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and The Nun 2. That makes The Conjuring Last Rites the 9th installment, wrapping up Phase 1 and setting stage for Phase 2 down the road. Last we heard, a Conjuring television series is in the works for Max. Stay tuned for more. Yeah, and I haven't heard, there's been zero updates as far as what's going on with the Conjuring television series. Now, it's funny that they're referencing this as the wrap up to Phase 1, and that Phase 2 is down the road. So if there is a if they do move forward with a Phase 2, I think that's where we're going to see the potential Conjuring television series. But I think that would probably be the best way and avenue to give us the Crooked Man solo film. Again, otherwise, what are you going to be playing for Phase 2? I mean, you're 9 films deep into Phase 1, and you're already out there promoting the fact that there is going to be a Phase 2, and this is everything that thus far has been setting the stage, because we do know The Devil Made Me Do It originally was supposed to be the last film for The Conjuring. But because of how well that film did, they decided to move forward and did The Conjuring Last Rites. So technically we were never even supposed to get The Conjuring Last Rites, and in fact we're getting it because they've already completed filming and it's going to be releasing this year. So anyways, that's going to do it for this horror news update. As far as James Wan, still interested after 10 long years of after doing Conjuring 2 and giving us the Crooked Man, has a story in mind, would love to come back, it sounds like, to do a solo film. And again, if you're going to set up or emphasize the fact that, hey, these 9 films is closing out Phase 1, we're going to start Phase 2, I think that would be the perfect opportunity to kick off not just potentially with a television series, but at the same time give us a television series, and maybe midway through that or on the back end of that, give us the Crooked Man solo film. And because I mean, I love the look of this villain, this character, and I would love to see a solo film of this, and potentially maybe even a couple of them. Maybe give us that prequel a bit, as far as the origins go. Have it tie into what happened towards the end of it, have it tie into what happened in The Conjuring 2, and then that second film building off of the events after what would have happened to this character after The Conjuring 2. So anyways, again, that's going to do it for this horror news update. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Would you enjoy James Wan coming back and doing a Crooked Man solo film, expanding the Conjuring universe? If not, let us know as well. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we will see you at the next one. Later.